Hello, hi, hello students. How are you? I hope you are all fine and safe at home. Already I have taught Geography lesson 1. Today I am going to teach Geography lesson 2, Lithosphere 2, Exogenetic Processes. In this lesson, already I have taught half of the portion. Today remaining portion I am going to teach. Uh, Here about this already I have taught about this erosional and depositional landforms of river. Today erosional and depositional landforms of underground water, winds, glaciers and sea waves. Under this heading there are many subheadings also, so please students listen carefully and take notes also. Under this erosional landforms of underground water, next, depositional landforms of underground water, erosional landforms of winds, depositional landforms of winds, erosional landforms of glaciers, depositional landforms of glaciers, erosional landforms of sea waves, depositional landforms of sea waves. So under each and every headings there are many subheadings also. First one, erosional landforms of underground water. Under this heading, we have 4 subheadings. So students listen, terra rosa, lapis, sinkhole, caves and caverns. So what are the subheadings under this heading? Erosional landforms of underground water. Erosional. What is the meaning for erosion? Mannaripu. Okay. So under this, what are the headings? Terra rosa, lapis, sinkhole, caves and caverns. So one by one we are going to learn. Erosional landforms of underground water. Terra rosa. So terra rosa, it is an Italian term for that means red soil. In Italy it is named as red soil. So terra rosa. What do you mean by terra rosa? So it is the deposition of red clay soil on the surface of the earth is due to the dissolution of limestone content in rocks. So mostly some areas we can see the soil are in different colors. Some area it is red in color, some white, black, etc. So why this soil is red in color? Due to the limestone more lime contents are there. Because of that only the soil is red in color. So terra rosa is a deposition of red clay soil on the surface of the earth. How it happened means is due to the dissolution of limestone content in rocks. So the redness of the soil is due to the presence of iron oxide. Because of iron oxide present in the soil only, the color was changed as red. Okay, did you understand? Next one is the lapis. What do you mean by lapis? When the joint of the limestone rocks are corrugated by groundwater, long furrows are formed and these are called lapis. How these lapis are formed means because of the joints of the limestone rocks are corrugated by groundwater. Sometimes under on the earth or under the ground also the water will flow. Due to that, what happen? Often it is continuous flow means there will form as a furrow. Furrow means what? Like a depression. So we can say, for example, the rabbit has take furrow on the earth. Kulitondu, isn't it? Like that. When there is a joint of limestone rocks are corrugated by groundwater, long furrows are formed and these are called lapis. Next one, sinkhole. What do you mean by sinkhole? Students listen, from this picture, what you understand? It is like a funnel shaped depression, isn't it? How this funnel shaped has formed means this is also due to dissolution of limestone rock, that is called as sinkholes. Okay, please listen. From the picture itself you can understand clearly what you meant by sinkhole. Sinkhole means it is a funnel shaped depression formed due to dissolution of limestone rock. Is called sinkhole. Their average depth ranges between 3 and 9 meters. Mostly we can see this from 3 to 9 meters. So what do you mean by sinkholes? Listen, a funnel shaped depression formed due to dissolution of limestone rock is called sinkholes. So what was the depth ranges? 3 to 9 meters. Next one is the caves and caverns. You all know what you mean by cave. Caves means what? And caverns means what? Caves and caverns are subterranean features of karst topography. Caves are hollows. Hollow that are formed by the dissolution of limestone. Caverns are the caves with irregular flows. Do you understand? Please listen. What do you mean by caves? Caves are the hollow that are formed by the dissolution of limestone rock when carbon dioxide in air turns into carbonic acid after its reaction with water. So when this carbon dioxide in air turns into carbonic acid, while this rain was come after its reaction with water, what will happen? Caves are formed because of the dissolution of limestone rock. These caves and caverns are also the subterranean features of karst topography. Karst topography, already we have learned about the limestone. Okay, they vary in size and shape. Caverns are the caves with irregular flows. Caves means it will be a hollow and caverns means it will be an irregular flows. Example, Guptadam caves in western Bihar. So all types of deposits in the caves and caverns are collectively called septalomes, which include travels, tufa, dripstones. So together, this all type of deposit in the caves and caverns. Sometimes the all will deposit. Deposit means what? A padivo. Okay. Are collectively called septalomes, which include travertites, tufa, dripstones. Okay. And also many names also have. What are that? Swallow holes, U-walls, dolines, folges or other erosional features of karst region predominant in other part of the world. Next one is the depositional landforms of underground water. So, how this depositional landform, deposit in the underground water, it will happen. It is interesting to know that a variety of depositional features are formed on the floor, ceiling and walls of the caves and caverns of the karst topography. So, depositional means padivu. So, what will happen means many varieties of things while the river was flowing also, it will carry many stones, waste, etc. Depositional features are formed on the floor, ceiling and walls of the caves and caverns of the karst topography. Next one, under this salicite, stalagmite and column. So what are the subheadings for this? Depositional features of underground water, stalactite, stalagmite and column. What do you mean by this? When the water containing stalactite, that means what? When the water containing dissolved salicite gradually drips from the ceiling of the caves, water evaporates and remaining salicite hangs from the ceiling. See, because of that, what will happen? What was formed? Salicite. It will like a evaporation from the top. We can see. So it is like a salicite. Salicite hangs from the ceiling. The salicites are formed when the salicite deposit rises upward like a pillar. We can see that stalagmites are formed. Sometimes salicites and stalagmite meet together to form columns or pillars. It will be like a pillar. So, salicite, stalagmite and column. When the water containing dissolved salicite gradually drips from the ceiling of the caves, from the caves it will be fall like a drip. So what will happen? It will like water will evaporate and the remaining salicite hangs from the ceiling. So it will be like a ceiling of the caves. So the next one, the stalagmite, the salicites are formed when the salicite deposit rises upward like a pillar. It will evaporate like a pillar. So it will be seen as a stalagmites are formed. Sometimes both the salicite and stalagmite are meet together to form columns or pillars. Okay. Next one, glacier. You all know what do you mean by glacier. Glacier A, a glacier is a large mass of ice. What do you mean by glaciers? Glacier means a large mass of ice that moves slowly over the land from its place of accumulation. What do you mean by accumulation? Accumulation means gathered together. More things are gathering. That is called as accumulation. It is also known as river of ice. So, glacier is also called as river of ice. The place of accumulation is called snowfield. The height above which there is a permanent snow cover in the higher altitude or latitude is called snow line. So, what is called snow line? The height above which there is a permanent snow cover in the higher altitude or higher latitude is called snow line. Sometimes they may ask question, what do you mean by snow line? Snow line means what? It is the height above the higher altitude and higher latitude is called as snow line. Higher the altitude, sometimes the latitude is higher, lower the snow line from the sea level. Do you understand? Please listen. Sometimes the latitude may higher and the snow line will be lower from the sea level. The gradual transformation of snow into granular ice is called firn or neve, and finally it becomes solid glacier ice. So sometimes they may ask question, one word question, what is called firn or what is called neve? That means the gradual transformation of snow into granular ice. Gradual means slow transformation, changes of snow into granular ice. Small piece bit of ice is called firn or neve. So at last it will become solid glacier ice. Okay student, did you understand about this glacier? Glacier means what? A large mass of ice. Next one, erosional landforms of glaciers. So erosional means what? Aripu, isn't it? Next, glaciers. Under this heading, we have 6 subheadings. What are they? Cirque, Arids, Matterhorn, U-shaped valley, hanging valley, spheroids, etc. Okay. So glaciers are powerful erosive agent. Among this agent, which is the most powerful erosional agent, glaciers. Some of the important erosional landforms of glaciers are Cirque, Aritis, Matterhorn, U-shaped valley, hanging valley, spheroids, etc. So most of these glacial features are predominantly seen in countries like Switzerland, Norway, etc. So where we can see all these glaciers in Switzerland, Norway, in the etc. That means it will be in the cold region. Next one is the cirque. What do you mean by cirque? From this picture, what you understand? Cirque, it is like a chair, isn't it? Armchair. It was shaped like an armchair. So the glacier erode the steep side walls of the mountain and forms a bowl-shaped armchair-like depression. It is termed as cirque. So what is called cirque? The glacier erodes the steep side walls of the mountain and forms a bowl-shaped armchair-like depression. It is termed as cirque. There is one question also. What do you mean by cirque? Cirque means it is the glacier erode the steep side walls of the mountain and forms a bowl-shaped armchair-like depression. So what is in this important point is it forms a bowl-shaped armchair-like depression. It is termed as cirque. Okay. Next one is the arete. Arete means what? That two cirque walls join together back to back and form narrow knife-like ridges. Okay, so from this picture also you can understand aretes are narrow ridges formed when two cirque walls join together. So two armchairs join together back to back means how it will be? It will be like a narrow knife-like ridges. Okay, next one, pyramidal peak. Pyramid means pyramidal peaks. That means 3 or more cirques meet together, it will form as a pyramidal peak. Okay. Do you understand? Pyramidal peak. What do you mean by pyramidal peak, students? Listen. The pyramidal peaks formed when three or more circuits meet together. Example, Matterhorns. Okay. Next one is the U-shaped valley. From this picture, clearly you can understand how this valley is. It is like a U-shaped. How this U-shape was formed? Do you know? That means the glacier, when the glacier moves down along a river valley, the valley further get eroded deep and wide to form a U-shaped valley. Because of the movement of the glacier along a river valley, the valley will get eroded. Eroded means aripo. Okay. Deep and wide to form a U-shaped valley. So what do you mean by U-shaped valley? There is one question also. Listen, what do you mean by U-shaped valley? The valley is the shape of U. When the glaciers move down along a river valley, along the rivers, what was also moving? Along with that, the ice cubes also moving. At that time, what happened? The valley further gets eroded deep and wide to form a U-shaped valley. Okay. Next one, hanging valley. Hanging. What is the meaning of hang? Hanging means tungu. Okay. These are valley eroded by tributary glacier and that hangs over the main valley. Tributary means sub glaciers that hangs over the main valley. Okay. Do you understand? Okay, under this hanging valley, fjords. Fjords are glacial valleys that are partly submerged in the sea. So please listen. Hanging valley, we have learned, isn't it? What do you mean by this hanging valley? These are valleys eroded by tributary glacier and that hangs over the main valley. Next one is the fjord. Fjords means what? Fjords are glacial valleys that are partly submerged in the sea. Partly. What is the meaning for partly? Half. Okay. Fjords are glacial valleys that are partly submerged. Submerged means what? It is going inside in the sea. So from this picture, you can easily understand how these valleys are seen. So fjords are glacial valleys that are partly submerged in the sea. Next one is the depositional landforms of glacier. So, till now we have learned about the erosional landforms of glacier. Next one is the depositional landforms of glacier. How the glaciers are deposited. Because of this deposition, how these landforms are created. So, under this depositional landforms of glacier, there are some subheadings. 5 subheadings. What are they? They are the moraines, drumlines, eskers, pumice and outwash plains. About this detail also we are going to learn. So, depositional landforms of glacier. Listen, after getting eroded, fragment of rock and boulders along with drift from glacial derbies get deposited in the low-lying areas and form depositional features like. So after getting eroded, what will happen means fragment of rock and boulders, many things, many dirt, waste product also will come along with these glaciers. All these glaciers get deposited in the low-lying area. Low-lying means from the top to bottom, isn't it? Low-lying area and form depositional features like moraines, drumlines, eskers, pumice and outwash plains. So what are that? Moraines, drumlines, eskers, outwash plains. Okay, students. Next one is one by one we can learn about this. What do you mean by moraine? Listen, what do you mean by moraine? Moraine, landform formed by glacier deposits of valley or continental glaciers are termed as moraines. So what do you mean by moraines? This is very important. Please listen. There is one question also. How moraines are formed? So landforms formed by the glacier deposit. How the landforms are formed by the glacier of valley or continental glaciers are termed as moraines. Okay. valley or continental glaciers. How this moraine landforms are formed means because of valley or continental glaciers. They are of various shapes and size like ground, terminal and lateral moraines, etc. So, how this moraines was formed? Landforms formed by the glacial deposit of valley or continental glaciers are termed as moraines. They are of various shapes and size like ground, terminal and lateral moraines, etc. Next one is the drum line. Drum you all know, it will be like a basket, isn't it? So it is also called as basket of egg trophography. What is another name for drum line, students? Please listen. Drum line is also called as basket of egg trophography. Drum lines are deposit of glacial moraines that resemble giant inverted teaspoons or half-cut egg. How it will be means it is like a half-cut egg. Giant inverted teaspoon. Giant means what? Big size inverted teaspoon. Teaspoon or spoon you are inverted, and if you keep means how it will be? It will be like that. So drum line or basket of egg trophography. That is another name for drum line. It is also called as basket of egg trophography. So drum lines are deposit of glacial moraines that resemble giant inverted teaspoons or half-cut eggs. Next one is the esker. What do you mean by this esker? What is called esker? It is the long, narrow ridges composed of boulders, gravel and sand deposited by stream of melting water which run parallel to the glacier are called esker. So, what do you mean by esker? Listen, this is also very important question. What do you mean by esker? Long, narrow ridges composed of boulders, gravel and sand deposited by streams of melting water which run parallel to the glacier are called eskers. Okay. Next one is the outwash plain. What do you mean by outwash plain? That means what? An outwash plain consists of glacial sediment deposited by the melting ice. Due to the ice melt only, it was created at the terminus of a glacier. It appears as an extensive accumulation of sand, gravel and slate. How this deposit has occurred means because of the melting of ice. So it appears as an extensive accumulation of sand, gravel and slate. Next one.